Okay, so I just thought I would make a video on what I think is going on with these ICE detention facilities and all the ICE detentions, and what the end game of the Trump administration on this is. There was a documentary years ago that Alex Jones made, and I don't follow Alex Jones anymore. I was really never a huge fan of his. But he had some good information. There was just something about him that I didn't really care for, but he did release some good information. In recent years, he's jumped on the Trump train and completely changed. He's supporting now what he stood against before. He's completely transparent. So many people see through him. After the Sandy Hook thing, and he got pretty much lost everything. He had to sell out to the globalists. So he's completely changed. But anyway, I'm going to let this play itself. This clip from Police State 3: Total Enslavement, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it after it plays.
S89 has also been introduced. It's the Universal National Service Act of 2003, and let me tell you, it's the hallmark of a command and control society. The description of the bill is to provide for the common defense by requiring that all young persons in the United States, including women, perform a period of military service or civilian service in furtherance of the national defense and homeland security and for other purposes. We have looked at some of the programs the federal government has already been setting up for national service here in the new homeland, and they include East German-style tattletale squads of every type, which are just basically a super tips program. It's similar to programs they've had in Russia since Stalin's era and continuing to this day, where they take junior high and high school students and train them in warrant service, gun confiscation, tax police, fugitive apprehension, you name it. Literal Hitler-Jugend brown shirts.
Taking 11-year-old children and teaching them the finer points of collecting taxes. And teaching them to do this. These are their role models, Russia's rough and ready tax police. They knock on the door, you know it's time to pay your taxes. They wear black masks and are famous for beating up tax cheats in the Russian mafia. Their motto, we have guns and we know how to use them.
The Patriot Act 2 bill itself is stamped confidential, not for distribution. Upon reading the analysis of the bill, I was stunned by the systematically crafted tyranny contained in the legislation. The Justice Department Office of Legislative Affairs admits that they have indeed covertly transmitted a copy of legislation to Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, and of course we already told you the Democrats have already introduced the bill. And there's dozens of sections in it, actually hundreds of sections in it, but Section 501 allows them to strip Americans of their citizenship and designate them for enemy combatants under Section 802 of the first Patriot Act that reads, any action that endangers human life that is a violation of any federal or state law. Now understand, you think this is just for, Habib Ahmed, the terrorist suspect over in Jordan, so you don't think it'll affect you. It says over and over again to fight international terrorism, domestic terrorism, and crime. The definition of terrorism, again, any action that endangers human life that violates any federal or state law. That's the first Patriot Act. They now say in Patriot Act 2 that they'll strip you of citizenship, secretly arrest you, and yes, even secretly execute you in one of the subsections. I mean, Hitler didn't even have the nerve to put stuff like that down on paper. He just did it. You're thinking, hey, Patriot Act 2 hasn't passed. Well, as soon as they engineer a terrorist attack, it will. And they've even said that if there's another terrorist attack, they'll pass it.
The war on terrorism was not just 9/11. That was just one of the battles. When you go to the grocery store and when you go to the football arena or other places, you have to think about these things differently.
So look what they've set up here. Every time there's an attack, they take more liberties while they leave the border wide open. And just a few more attacks, we'll be more enslaved than somebody in Soviet Russia. And it also has a subsection where if you know that your neighbor was grabbed by the police and you tell anyone, you can be designated as a terrorist and then be grabbed. I mean, this is something out of Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago, but worse, and right here in America. Section 501, the enemy combatant designation. And they're already grabbing citizens under this, and federal courts are saying that they can do this because there is no constitutional rights during the war on terror.
It is my responsibility to provide a legal framework and context in which detentions are understood and sustained.
What a perfect war. Some shadowy enemy you can never catch, and of course it's the government, carrying out these attacks, and the war just goes on and on and on. Section 201 of the Second Patriot Act makes it a criminal act for any member of the government or citizen to release any information concerning the incarceration or whereabouts of detainees. It also states that law enforcement does not even have to tell the press who they have arrested, and they never have to release their names. That's what we always heard about Guatemala or communist China or Cuba. They just, Felipe, they came and got him and he's gone, and you don't talk about it.
Okay, did you hear what he said? It's pretty important what he said. During the last Bush administration, they were trying to create compulsory service for people of civil service age, whether that was to the military or the Department of Homeland Security. And also what they were trying to do was pass the Patriot Act 2 and some other subsequent things that would strip citizenship from domestic terrorists. He also said that if they come and get you and your neighbors turn you in, they can be declared a domestic terrorist as well. And that they can put you on, they can send you to these to facilities, to detention facilities, and not release your name or tell anybody that you're there. In fact, they make it illegal to do so. So what they are doing is are going to try to do is to strip citizenship from people that they declare domestic terrorists, and they're going to have compulsory service for the military for these wars that they're fixing to start, and for the Department of Homeland Security rounding up non-citizens, including domestic terrorists that have been stripped of their citizenship status, and sent to these camps for non-citizens. So they're going to strip citizens, homegrowns, domestic terrorists of their citizenship, and send them to the camps designed for non-citizens. And your neighbors can't say you're gone, or they'll be declared a domestic terrorist, and nobody will know where you're at, because there's not going to be a list of anybody on. You're not going to be on any public list, so you're just going to disappear. They're coming to get old Felipe, or they're coming to get old James, which is my name. They're coming after John, Mark. They're not just coming after Manuel. They're not just coming after Manuel. They're coming after John and Mark too. You better get ready for that. And he said that they're ready to pass this if we have another terrorist attack, and they've primed us for that happening sometime in the future. What did they say when Trump come in? Just before Trump, what was right-wing media talking about before Trump come in? All these military-aged men were coming in over the border. And now Trump is starting a war on Iran, and that's going to bring China in, and possibly Russia, because China's already said they're going to get involved if we attack Iran, and we're surrounding Iran like we did Venezuela, and we're going to have an operation there. We're not just taking all of our ships over there and going to go play cards and stuff. No, this is going to be a war. Who knows how protracted it might be, but it's going to be a war. So once we go to war with these countries, these countries, they're going to probably going to load up a false flag. The Trump administration will probably load up a false flag event and have a terrorist event here in America and blame it on some of these illegal immigrants that come in and push this crap through Congress for all this domestic terrorism stuff. And what you're fixing to see next is a video of an ICE agent telling a woman who was just filming him, not impeding what he was doing, just filming him, that she has been put on a list, in a database, and she is now a domestic terrorist. So now just filming ICE and not doing anything will get you declared a domestic terrorist and put on a list. And that's going to apply to anybody that goes to a protest and holds a sign. All you got to do is go to a protest and hold a sign or say something on the internet. They're revoking the section on the internet that indemnifies social media for the posts that its users produce to it's as the law stands now. The social media companies are exempt from lawsuits for user-created content. But what they want to do is revoke that so that the social media companies can become liable in lawsuits for posts on their networks by users. So that provides an incentive for the social media companies to start suppressing content on their network or on their social media platforms. But anyway, what you're fixing to see, and that's another thing, they're suppressing dissent in this country by removing videos of points of view and opinions that they don't want, and then they're going to come and declare you a domestic terrorist for just speaking out against it and send you to the camps. So, but anyway, this next video is showing you how it's fixing to start right now, and that's ultimately where we're heading.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you? Are you crazy?